Hello everyone, my name is Chetan Pathare and today we are going to talk about WD Gann trading techniques. So I'll first of all give you a brief introduction about WD Gann, who we were. I'll just refer you to an interview. This interview was conducted by Richard Wyckoff in 1909. This date has been given over here and the publication was the Ticker and Investment Digest. So we'll do one thing, we'll just go through the article. I'd like to mention about two, three important things. One of them is if you go on page number 6, here Mr. Wyckoff specifically mentions, I once saw him trade $130 and in less than 1 month run it up over $12,000. Gann can compound money faster than any man I have ever met. So definitely WD Gann was a great trader and he used to focus more on time rather than price. So this is one of our specialities about WD Khan. He has also written a book by the name of Tunnel Through the Air. The speciality about this book is this book was been written in 1927 and this book was able to predict the low of 1932, that is almost 5 years in advance. So we'll try to know more about WD Khan. Hi, my name is Chetan Pathare. I stay in Mumbai. I started first of all investing in the year 2009 and I started trading somewhere around in 2012-13. I came across WD Gann in 2015-16 and since then I have been an avid reader of WD Gann and trying to find out his various trading techniques. We have a YouTube channel. We have a Telegram channel. We also have a website, so you can definitely visit any of them to get in touch with us. We come to the second section, which is WD Gann time price square. So we need to understand about his time cycles, how they work, and are we able to identify these cycles. So let's quickly jump across through the charts. This is Nifty specifically. If I see, I have marked some dates over here. So this is the first date, which comes around 19th of October 2021. Right. So there was a high in the market. And from this date, the market has given some reversals and after that again gave a pullback. So when we start from this day and we go across on the next date, which is 18th of January 2022, first thing that we identify is from this date onwards till this date. Again, this date has been marked with a vertical line. So we see that the market has traveled somewhere around 91 days. It has first of all created a high and after that again in 91 days, it has created one more high. So we see a high to high cycle and what we interpret from this is if the market creates a high to high cycle in 91 days, we should be expecting a low after half of the time frame of this time. So here the time frame is 91 days. We should be getting a low somewhere around after 45 days. So let's see if WD Gann's time cycles do work or not. So from here onwards, we go to the next time frame. And if we check from this date onwards till this date, which was a low, because after this, I'm not able to get a low. And I see the time from the date that is 18th of January 2022 till 8th of March 2022, I find that the cycle has been there for 49 days. So what we see over here is if the high to high cycle was there for 91 days, we should be expecting a low in half of the time frame. This specific theory is called as time price square or time price squaring or even squaring of time and price. The terminologies may be different, but yes, the theory is the same, which is called as squaring of time and price. I'll just explain you again. From a high to second high, if we get somewhere around 90 or 91 days, it can be a day less, it can be 2 days less or 2 days more, doesn't matter. But yes, you should be getting one high and after that, you should be getting one more high. And after that, you can expect a low somewhere around after half of the time frame of the time frame from high to high. So here it was 91 days. We should be expecting a low somewhere around after 45 days. Here we got for 49 days. So this is one of the cycles that we saw. Let's go to the next cycle. So the next cycle is if you are getting a high to a low in 49 days. So here onwards, we should be expecting a second high, which should be somewhere around half of the time frame given over here. So if this is 49 days or let's say 50 days, let's try to see what we are getting as a high. So from this day onwards till this date, so I'll just mark this again with a vertical line. So this date is 8th of March 2022, and we get a high again on 4th of April 2022, which comes to around 27 days. So from a high to a low, we got a cycle which was of 49 days or 50 days, and from this low, we again got a high. The cycle was of half of the time frame of 49 or 50 days, which comes to 25 days. Here we got 27 days. This may be because of weekend, maybe a day to here and there is all okay. But yes, definitely we are able to register those cycles over here. Let's try to take one more example, probably at a smaller time frame. For example, let's say I have a high over here, and from this high, I get one high, second low, and again second high. So let's try to have a calculation so that you are able to have a better understanding. Let's say I start from this high and I go to this second high. So this second high is coming after 27 days. So if it is 27 days, or for a round figure I consider as 30 days, I should be getting a low somewhere around in half of the time frame, which should be 15 days, because here it is a day or two less. It should be coming around 13, 14 days or something nearby. So I'll mark a vertical line again over here, and let's try to see from this point if I'm getting a low in that defined time frame or not. So I start from this point and I'm getting a low over here. So if I check the date of this part, I am getting this low around 14 days. So here what we saw is squaring of time and price from this high to this high, it was 27 days. It was 27 days, and I am expecting a low somewhere around half of this time frame, which is around 14 days. So we got that. So this is one example that we saw, probably the first example. This was the third example. Let me mark this lines. So we have got this high. So if I check, yes, over here, this was a new high, which we got, and this was there exactly on 1st of December. So 1st of December onwards, if I check out, I get, let's say, this high. So I'll again mark this high with a vertical line. So from this high to this high, I am getting a time cycle which is of 77 days. So this is 1st of December, and this high is of 16th of February 2023. So from this day onwards till this day, where I'm getting a second high, I am getting around 77 days. So if I consider this as a round figure of 80 days, I should be getting somewhere around a low near about to 40 days, or maybe less than that, or maybe plus minus here and there. Let's try to understand. So if I check from this date onwards, I'm getting 39 days. And if I mark somewhere around over here, so yes, I am getting a low or somewhere around nearer as a low in this part, right? So squaring of time and price as a theory, we are able to see that it works at different locations as we are able to identify. So this can be in terms of high to high and then a low after that, or it can be also in terms of a high to low and then a high after that. So this works on different time frames. It is not necessary that it works only on a specific time frame. So let's try to understand more about this part in the next coming sessions. So this is going to be the third session, which is talking about the book, The Tunnel Through the Air, or Looking Back from 1940. This was written by W.D. Gann. And if you check down the date for this book, it is 1927, right? So here he talks about various laws. This book is freely available and there with this session also. So you can go through that. What I've done over here is I have just made a summary of the trades which were there of cotton, which W.D. Gann has mentioned in his book, that is Tunnel Through the Air. And we will be just taking a reference of the page numbers, then the dates which are there, the prices which were there, and how many quantities he did buy. So let's go to quickly page number 71 of the PDF and page number 66 of the book. So let's say, for example, this is page number 65, and here he has written a letter. So this letter is dated 24th of January 1927. So what we have done is we have mentioned the date 24th of January, and the page number then goes to page 66. So here we go to page number 66 of the PDF of the book and page number 71 of the PDF. So we mentioned over there is I have already made arrangements and sent my money to a broker in New York and have today bought 200 bales of July cotton at 13.8. So there are two, three informations which are there. First is the date. So I mentioned the date. Second is the price that he has bought across and how many quantity. So the price is 13.8, that is July cotton, and the quantity bought is 200 bales. So 200 bales. So this we have written, and this is a trade which is being taken by Robert. We have considered this as day zero. Of course, the investment part has been given. So yes, this is the first thing. Let's go to the next date, which is somewhere around 1st of February, and it falls on page number 91, 96 of the book. So let's go to that page. We are on page number 91, and let's try to have an interpretation. So this letter has been written by Mr. Killingworth to Robert, my dear Robert, and the date is 1st of February 1927. So we see the date, that is 1st of February, and this is there by Mr. Killingworth. So I've just written Mr. So 1st of February, and then he writes further that so I telegraphed my broker in New York today and bought 500 bales of July cotton at 13.7. So he bought quantities 500 and his trade was 13.7. So 1st of February 3.7, 500 bales quantity, which was there by Mr. Killingworth. So we mentioned that. We go to the next page number, which is 93, 98, and this is going to be on 2nd of March. So let's see what happens on 2nd of March. So we come down to page number 93. So we go on this page number 93, 98, that is 2nd of March, and try to find out more. So let's say this is page number 93, and we go to page number 94. And on page number 94, we say on March 2nd, July cotton had traded at 14.8, and Robert had a profit of $1,000, and Mr. Killingworth had a profit of $2,500. So we have 2nd of March, the price was 14.8 and it had made a high. So details are there on this page number. The book is already been shared. Let's go to the next page numbers, which is 94, 99. March was the month to bring disappointment, and the price has fallen somewhere around to 13.75. So again, it came back to 13.75, which was a low, and the date is somewhere around 15th of March. So they have given midway. March was the month of bring disappointments to Robert. Cotton started to decline, and by the middle of the month had declined to around 13.75. So middle of the month is somewhere around 15th. So we have considered 15th of March, 13.75 was the price, which was a low. Let's go to the next page numbers. Probably it is 172, 177. So we come on page number 172 of the book and page number 177 of the PDF. So please understand these are two different pages just to make it easier for you. He says his calculation showed that wheat and cotton should be top for a reaction on June 10th. So he wired his broker in New York to sell out his wheat and cotton. So we had a high over here on 10th of June. So this is 10th of June. The high was 17.5 and we have mentioned this as a high. So this is the first part that we need to notice. Of course, 10th of June is something important. We'll inform you why that was important. We'll go to the next part, which is somewhere around 196, page number 201, and that is somewhere around 8th of August. So I've come down to page number 195, where he has given some calculations. I'll just go through that quickly. After Robert has sold out his October cotton, so they are talking about October cotton, we are discussing about July cotton at 17.3 and his December cotton at 17.5 on June 10th, because he has already told that June 10th would be a high, which is given over here. So 10th June, we have considered it as a high. So he sold across, or maybe the prices are different. He decided to watch the market very closely for a few days because he thought it would go lower. His forecast indicated last buying levels around June 25th. So we have taken June 25th to be a low, which has been mentioned over here. He figured that after this time, the market would go higher until September 5th to 6th, where he figured it would be final high. So I mentioned date as so September 5th and 6th, where he figured it would be final high. So if we see somewhere around 8th of September, we have seen that there should be a high. So what we have is some initial critical dates, which is starting from 24th of August, and then we go to again a second low, which was around 2nd of March. There was a high, and again 15th of March there was a low. 10th of June was a high. 8th of August, again, there was a low, and he expected some buying to be done around on 8th of August, and 8th of September, he again expected that there should be a high. Now, let's try to do some calculations over here, which are very critical. If I check down from 2nd of March, right? From 2nd of March, if I go down to the date, which is 10th of June. So this is March, entire month of March, entire month of April, entire month of May. That is 3 months, 90 days plus 10 days over here. So it gives me a figure of somewhere around 100 days starting from 2nd of March, which was a high, to second high, which is of 10th of June. So I get a cycle which is of 100 days. This is the first part that we need to understand. The second part is if I look across for the low, which is from 25th of June to my second low, which is coming around on 8th of August. So 25th of June to 25th of July, that is somewhere around 30 days. And from 25th of July around to 8th of August, the complete days from 28th of June to 8th of August, it comes somewhere around to 44 days. So if we consider again squaring of time and price, yes, this has been around, the high to high has been around 100 days. And again, the low we are able to get somewhere around after 44 days. So almost half of the time frame which is there. This is one important cycle that we need to understand. Second cycle, if we try to see, yes, 10th of June was my high. So from 10th of June, we got another high, which is on 8th of September. So June to July, 1 month, July to August, August to September. So June to September, we get somewhere around a time frame of 3 months, which comes to 90 days. Now this 90 days is very important. Why? Because the charts we saw, again, we were able to get a cycle which was of 90 days. Now this is something really important. We need to understand that. And for this, we will try to get some basic information about our Earth rotation, which is in the form of equinox and solstice. The Earth's orbit is around 365 days. And if we have this equinox solstice dates, which are around 4 days, we probably are able to get some more information on that. So let's go in the next session for these dates and why these dates are critical. So let's go for the equinox and solstice part. Try to understand the basics of this part. Let's say we have the sun and the earth keeps on orbiting around the sun. Now to complete an entire orbit, the earth requires 365 days. Let's say for example, we start from this point and the earth takes complete entire orbit around the sun. This period is called as a year. We also know it as 365 days. Now, if you consider this in terms of angle, this is going to be a circle. Now the circle, of course, it is a bit elliptical, but yes, at the end of the day, this is going to be either an elliptical part or a circle. It would be requiring the same degrees, which is 360 degrees. Now 360 degrees and 365 days almost falls out to the same number. Even if you consider 360, the 5 days are going to be additional. So probably we'll also try to match that part. Now let me take you to one important part, which is, see, our earth, which is there, it rotates on its axis, and the axis which is there, this is tilted around 23.6 degrees. So it is not like it is totally perpendicular. No, it has a bit of tilt, right? So this is the axis tilt. And because of this tilt, we have various seasons, right? Now, how are these seasons being formed? It depends on the rotation of the earth. When the earth orbits around the sun, it is going to be always keep on rotating. And when it keeps on rotating, it moves from one direction to another. Let's say, for example, when it is there on 22nd of December. Now, 22nd of December, the Earth is going to be tilted in this specific way, where the North Pole is going to be totally away from the sun, while the South Pole would be nearer to the sun compared to the North Pole. What would be happening is there would be hardly any light which would be coming from the sun towards the North Pole, and the South Pole will be on the opposite side, having approximately 24 hours of sunlight. So, because there is less sunlight, we have winter in the North Pole. Similarly, when the Earth is on the opposite direction, right, from this point, it comes around somewhere. From this point, it takes somewhere around 360 degrees to travel from one point to another point. So this is 22nd December and we have 21st of June, where the North Pole is receiving maximum light. That is, it has 24 hours of daylight, while the South Pole is away, and so we have winter during June in the South Pole. So these are always, the winters are always going to be opposite. The North Pole is away in the month of December from the sun, while the South Pole is away from the sun in the month of June. Second thing is, if you see March 21st and 23rd of September, during these 2 days, especially, the sunlight is falling directly on the equator. That's why it is called as equinox. Equinox means equal night. So equal day and equal night, that's why it is called as equinox, where the sunlight directly falls on the equator and we have equal day and equal night. On the other hand, if we see for 22nd of December, it is called as solstice. Why? Because it is winter on one side and it is summer on other side. Now, what happens because of that? Because of this, we have seasons which keep on changing. Because the earth is tilted, right? We get different amount of sunlight at North Pole, South Pole, and at different parts of earth. And that's why we have got various seasons. Let's look at the seasons. For example, if you look over here, yes, we have got winter over here, right? So it is called as winter solstice. And from this, that is December 22nd onwards, it starts moving towards spring equinox, right? So from winter, we go towards spring, and 21st of March is specifically called as spring equinox. From this point, now this travel requires somewhere around 90 days. 90 days, 91 days, 92 days approximately is going to be the same. Not much of a difference, but yes, the travel time is approximately 90 days. 21st of March onwards till 21st of June, yes, the earth starts moving from equinox towards solstice, and this is called as spring. So from spring, again, we go towards the summer part. So 21st June onwards till 23rd of September, again, this time frame comes to nearer to 90 days. And from summer, you again go towards autumn. So this is how the seasons are being related. Now, if we consider, yes, from 22nd of December to 21st of March, this requires 90 days. 21st of March to 21st of June, approximately 90 days. 21st of June to 23rd of December, again 90 days. And from 23rd of September to 22nd of December, again 90 days. So this is how we complete an entire circle of 360 degrees and 365 days. Now, we have got different kind of cycles. The cycles can be on the basis of number of days. Let's say we can have a 90-day cycle. The cycles can be day of 180 days, which starts from this point to this. The points may vary a bit, right? But the cycles can be of 90 days. The cycles can be day of 180 days. It can be of shorter time frame also. Let's say, for example, if this is 90 days, we can have a cycle of 30 days, 30 days, 30 days also. And at times, we have a cycle which is of 120 days. So this picture that we see at the center, this is called as Gann emblem. We have a circle. The circle can be one day or it can be an entire year, considering that, because Gann is to consider year for a day and day for a year. So it's more of a circle, because Earth rotation, which is again circular, that requires 24 hours. And the orbit around the sun again is a circle, which takes around 365 days. Now, if we see the corners, yes, there is a square which is been fitted. So the square is nothing but from this point to this point, it is going to be 90-degree movement. From this point again to the next point, it is going to be 90-degree movement. Again, from this point to this point, 90-degree movement. And from this point to this point, it is going to be 90-degree movement. So 90-degree, 180-degree, 270-degree, and 360-degree. This is how the square is being fitted inside a circle. So this can be equinox, solstice dates also. Apart from that, we also see a triangle. This is more of an equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangles means this angles as well as the length are going to be equal. So if we consider travel from this point to this point, it is going to be 120-degree, again 120-degree, and again this is going to be 120-degree. So that makes it again a circle of 360 degrees. So this is how it is, just to have the basic parts considered together. Now let's try to look at the recent low that we got. So yes, so we had this low, this was in 2022, and we had this recent low, which is there in 2023, March 2023. Again, this date, which is there, right? Now, if we check down with these dates, yes, the low is somewhere around 20th of March. Now, what is this 20th of March? 20th of March or 21st of March is my spring equinox, which can be a change of trend. So if I look over here, yes, on this day specifically or nearby to that, I got a change of trend because there was a downtrend over here. And from downtrend, now we start with an uptrend. So let's say if I look for the bigger time frame, I had a low. Let's say I had this low, which was coming on 20th of March. And if I consider from this low to this high, this is around a period of 179 days, which I can consider as 180 days cycle. So this is the first cycle that we are getting from a low to a high of 180 days. But how will I come to know that, okay, this cycle is completed or not? So for that, what we can do is we can just take a confirmation of the previous cycle, which we saw in the previous session. We had a high, right? From this high to had a second high, which was coming around 77 days. And from this high, we again got a low, which was somewhere around 39 days. So we completed this cycle of squaring of time and price. From this high, we got 77 days high. And half of that, which approximately comes to 38, 39 days, we got a low. So this cycle was completed over here, and then the next cycle took over and we started going for a high from this side. Now, if we try to focus on this part, if I try to check from this low, yes, so this low accordingly, and I go to the next low, this is the cycle of 30 days. If I consider the next low and from this low, I go to the next low, which we get, right? So let's say, for example, this low was around 20th of March. From 20th of March, I got a low, which is around 19th of April. And after that, I got one more low, which is there on 19th of May. The first cycle of low to low was 30 days. I got my second low to low cycle, which is there of 30 days. And if I look for the next cycle, which is there, from this low probably to this low, I got somewhere around for 35 days. So 2-3 days here and there is okay. So here we got one 30-day cycle, we got second 30-day cycle, and we got third 30-day cycle approximately. Let's consider the next cycle. So if I consider this low and the high after that, so this cycle probably is going on the upward direction. This is changing its trend. This is again somewhere nearer to 30 days. If I check accordingly from this high, maybe to this high, so we'll just check that. So this is the first point, and I go to my second point. So this is coming around to 57 days. And if I probably try to divide this, yes, I will be again getting a 30 days cycle. So we saw different cycles over here. One is I got a 180 days cycle. I got a 30-day cycle. We got different 30-day cycle. This 30-day cycle, which was a low to low. This again a low to low 30-day cycle. This low to this low again was a 30-day cycle. I got this low to this high again around 30 days cycle. So Accordingly, if I try to check from this high, I got this high. This was somewhere around 32 days. And similarly, if I try to check out from this high, probably I got this low somewhere around on 15 days. So we need to consider how the cycles are being formed over here. So we need to consider from this high to this high. If it was 30, 32 days, I got a low somewhere around for 50 days. So we need to consider these cycles also, which are currently been happening. This becomes very important for us for understanding and trading. Of course, this has to be traded with a price also. Now, is it necessary that these cycles happen only at this parts? No. If we take various examples, we'll be able to find the cycles also. So previously, we saw an example which was from 19th of October 2021. If we look at the previous cycles, maybe probably we'll be able to find some similar cycles. For example, if we consider over here, yes, we are getting some lows. If I consider somewhere around this low and I go up to this high. So this low is been considered and this high is been considered. So from this low to this high, I am getting a cycle which is 120 days. This is the first part. Now let's try to see if we are getting some smaller cycles also in between. So let's say we start from here on this low. So from this low, if we calculate 30 days, approximately 29 days, we are getting a low over here. So again, we start from maybe probably this low and try to see if we are after 30 days getting a low. So yes, approximately, see, this is 29 days, this is 31 days. So plus minus 1 day here and there is okay. But yes, we are getting a low. Again, from this low, if I go to the next low, which is somewhere around here, yes, after 30 days, again, I am able to get a low. So see, 30 days, then next 30 days, again, next 30 days. So 30 days plus 30 days, 60 days plus 30, 90 days. And if I include that part also, let's say from here to here, yes, again around 30 days. So this 120-day cycle which is there, that is made up of 30 days, 30 days, 30 days, 30 days. So this is how this cycle of 120 days is again be made of a low to low cycle which is of 30 days, again low to low cycle which is of 30 days, again a low to low cycle 30 days, and again a low to high cycle which is of approximately 28 days. So not necessarily every time you'll be getting low to low cycle, you can also get a low to high cycle also after a period of 90 days. So not only that, if we go backwards also, let's say I consider this high and try to have a measurement. So from this high, maybe probably till this low, I can again find the cycles are there of 120 days also. We got a cycle which was there of 30 days. We saw cycles which were of 120 days, right? So here we saw cycles which are there of 180 days and some cycles which are also of 90 days. So you'll be getting different kinds of cycles. We just need to identify these cycles, and also we get cycles of 180 days. We get cycles of 30 days, smaller cycles also. So we need to only identify the cycles and what is the pattern which is been happening over here, which is very much important. Now, if you are able to see all these things together, what is the reason behind that? We saw Equinox, Solstice, we saw the Gann Emblem, but do we have something which we will be able to study more of into details? So for that, we need to go towards W.D. Gann's book, one of the books for reference, which is W.D. Gann on law of vibration. Just to make you understand, this is not a book which is written by W.D. Gann, but this is the collection of details about what has been written by W.D. Gann on the law of vibration. So let's go to some critical parts. Now, one of the most important things that we need to understand, what W.D. Gann has said is, if we wish to avoid failure in speculation, we must deal with causes. Everything in existence is based on exact proportion and perfect relationship. So whatever we are able to find on the chart, they have a proportion among themselves, and we also find a perfect relationship. For example, from this low to this high, yes, we find an exact ratio, a relationship which is there in terms of time. Over here, 90 days and then 45 days downside, we see a perfect relationship between time and price together. So if we try to check over here from this low to the second low that we have been getting, yes, this is around 30 days. If we check from this low to this low, again we are getting around 30 days. Again, if we check from this low to around this low, yes, we are getting around 30 days. And again, from this low, if we check down to the high, yes, around again 30 days. So what we see is from the bottom, let's say we consider this bottom. So from this bottom, if we go to the high, yes, we are getting this cycle, which is around 90 days. So this sub cycles forms a part of the bigger cycle. And that's why, as we saw over here, everything in existence is based on exact proportion and perfect relationship. So this forms the proportion and this forms the entire relationship, because this all are being clubbed together as an uptrend, and this we get as an uptrend of 90 days, which is again made up of smaller cycles. Again, if we see over years, from this point again to this point, this is totally a trend which is there, again starting from the same point going to the approx same point. But yes, this is a change of trend which has been happening, and this takes around 120 days. Similarly, if we start from maybe this point, because this change of trend has been happening over here, again from this, if we go up to this point, this is again a cycle of 120 days. So of course, these cycles keep on happening. There are more to the details of this part, but yes, currently we will try to keep this session over till this point. We talked about various things. We talked about giving an introduction about WD Gann. We talked about WD Gann's squaring of time and price method. Of course, this is only one method that we have seen. There are various methods together, and there are various study details also which are been available. But yes, this is one of the methods by which Gann used to do squaring of time and price. We also saw the details about cotton trades and how the high to high cycle and low to low cycles are being squared up together. Not only that, we also saw cycles which have been happening as per seasons, which is of 90 days. So 90 days, 180 days, 360 days, we saw this into the Equinox Solstice part together. And with this, we also saw the Gann emblem, which has a circle, a square integrated within the circle, and also a triangle, which gives us cycles of 90 days as well as cycles of 120 days. So for this session, this is enough. Thank you so much. Bye. Take care.